Okay, let's unpack this. What if some of the biggest stories, the ones that stick around in our culture, like from ancient myths all the way to modern sci-fi,
Hmm.
what if they were all kind of hinting at the same hidden truth about alien contact?
Hmm.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into, well, a really fascinating layered perspective. It tries to connect everything from like scientific research into consciousness
Yeah.
to old religious texts.
Even big tech company logos, right?
Exactly, yeah. We've got this detailed exploration, mostly from a YouTube channel that often covers unusual, sometimes unsettling topics.
Okay.
Our mission, like always, is just to navigate this whole thing, see what connections and theories they present. We're not picking sides here,
Just laying it out.
just laying it out, but prepare for maybe some aha moments, because this is where it gets really
Yeah.
interesting. So where do we start? The material jumps right in with a pretty wild claim for today.
Yeah, it really does. It said scientists are like actually building a machine,
Yeah,
a DMT machine.
DMT, dimethyltryptamine. That
Yeah.
potent psychedelic.
Right? Found in plants, maybe our brains too. And the goal, the stated goal is talking to aliens.
Wow. Okay. Straight out of science fiction.
Pretty much.
Eh.
But then almost immediately, the source kind of pushes back on what we usually mean by aliens.
How so?
Well, the core idea they put forward is that these beings, especially the gray aliens you see everywhere in pop culture,
Yeah.
they're not really ETs, not from other planets.
Okay. So what are they then, according to this view?
Something much older, maybe fallen angels or even demonic entities.
Fallen angels,
Oh.
demonic. Okay, that definitely reframes the whole conversation.
Completely.
So how do they start building that case? What's the first link they make?
They go into what they call the language of symbols. It's pretty interesting.
Symbols. Like what?
Okay, get this. They say if you take two Apple logos, the Apple logo,
Mm-hmm.
and put them together in a certain way, a hidden symbol emerges. A gray alien.
Seriously, the Apple logo.
That's what they claim.
Oh.
And then they link the bite out of the apple.
Oh, like the forbidden fruit.
Exactly. To Adam and Eve, the forbidden fruit, and by extension to the fallen ones.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a connection. From tech logos to Genesis.
It's a big leap, yeah.
Yeah.
But they run with it.
So from Apple, where does this symbolic thread lead next? It goes into some more controversial history, right?
It does. It brings up Aleister Crowley.
Crowley,
Yeah.
the occultist, very
Yeah.
controversial figure.
Definitely. Known for, his dark rituals, founding Thelema, all that. The source highlights that Crowley apparently claimed he contacted a specific entity,
Uh-huh.
a fallen being or demonic entity
Yeah.
that he called Lamb.
Lamb, Lam.
Right. And the really striking part, Crowley actually drew a picture of Lamb.
Okay.
And according to this source, that drawing looks remarkably like, well, a gray alien.
So Crowley's drawing of this entity Lamb resembles the common image of a gray alien.
That's the connection they make. And they argue this isn't just isolated, that you see this link, this imagery, in all forms of media and entertainment.
Okay, like where? What examples do they give?
Well, one that kind of jumped out was Stephen King's It. Pennywise the Clown.
Pennywise. How does he fit in? He's supposed to be an alien from space, right?
He is, yeah, an alien creature that shapeshifts. But the source points to its bulbous head
Okay.
and says it looks a lot like Lamb, or like the gray aliens again.
Yeah.
So they're linking Pennywise back to that same fallen angel or demon concept.
So it isn't just an alien, it's another manifestation of this Lamb, this fallen entity.
That's the interpretation presented, yeah. Makes you look at horror movies a bit differently, maybe.
No kidding.
What?
Okay, so we've got symbols, Crowley, Stephen King. Quite a web they're weaving.
Oh, yeah.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, the source suggests there's like a narrative being pushed by the mainstream media.
Yeah, that's a really key part of their argument.
Yeah.
The claim is that the media is sort of preparing us
Preparing us for what?
for the idea of actually meeting aliens. And maybe even hinting that we are aliens ourselves.
That we are aliens. How?
Well, they point to discussions around the panspermia theory.
Panspermia. The idea that life on Earth came from space, like microbes on asteroids or something.
Exactly. And they note this theory was pushed by Sir Francis Crick, the DNA Nobel Prize winner.
Right.
And they pull specific headlines like, is this picture a seed sent to Earth by aliens? Or, we are star people, scientific proof that we were created by aliens.
So they see these headlines not just as science news, but as part of a conditioning process.
Precisely. It's presented as a subtle, ongoing effort to normalize the idea of extraterrestrial origins for humanity. kind of softening us up for contact.
And does this narrative extend to, like, our more ancient origins, too?
It does, yeah. They bring up stories about potential ancient interbreeding.
Interbreeding between who?
Well, they cite reports like Pacific Islanders appear to be carrying the DNA of an unknown human species.
Okay, I think I remember hearing about something like that. Denisovans, maybe? Or something else?
Could be Denisovans or maybe something else.
Yeah.
Another one mentioned is our ancestors may have mated more than once with mysterious ancient humans.
Right, so how does the source interpret these scientific findings?
Well, they connect it back to the Bible. They say it echoes accounts of interbreeding between the angels and man.
Angels and man, like in Genesis, the Nephilim.
Exactly. Linking it to the days of Noah, trying to draw a direct line from modern genetics to ancient scripture.
You know, wasn't there a really specific claim from like 2017, something about our DNA being designed?
Oh, yeah. That one's pretty striking. Shock claim human DNA was designed by aliens, say scientists.
Who are these scientists?
Came from two scientists in Kazakhstan, apparently.
Yeah.
They suggested there's a kind of mathematical message in our genetic code.
A message.
Yeah, something that they argue Darwin's theory can't explain, implying some advanced alien civilization seeded our planet eons ago.
Kazakhstan. That rings a bell. Doesn't the source make a connection to the capital city, Astana?
It does, yeah. Astana, now Nur Sultan, the source describes it as an Illuminati capital.
An Illuminati capital.
Apparently, it's full of what they interpret as Illuminati and satanic symbolism, and it's becoming a, quote, hot travel destination.
Okay, so how does Astana connect to the alien DNA claim?
The argument being made is that it links the so-called Illuminati or the shadow controllers to this whole alien fallen angel demonic agenda, claiming these groups get insight, maybe technology, through rituals, contacting these fallen angels.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. Rituals, shadow controllers, alien DNA.
And they even mention declassified FBI documents.
FBI documents. Saying what?
That supposedly admit visits of beings from other dimensions, not just planets, but dimensions.
Dimensions. Okay, so we've gone from Apple logos to the FBI admitting interdimensional beings, all tied back to this idea of fallen angels posing as aliens, potentially linked to elite groups.
It's a complex tapestry for sure.
So how does this all loop back to where we started? With the DMT machine, how does DMT fit into this grand conspiracy, I guess?
Right, the DMT connection. That's where it kind of comes full circle. The source looks at the reported experiences people actually have when they use DMT.
And what do they find?
They suggest that inevitably, almost every single one of them match up in one way or another.
People see similar things.
Yeah, constantly seeing similar things. That's the claim.
Okay, like what? Do they give specifics?
They do. There's one detailed testimony from a user who took it with friends. They saw visions of pyramids, pagan temples, Hindu gods, minotaurs, centaurs, all sorts of creatures.
Wow.
Even a specific Cambodian temple and a pyramid with an eye on top being worshipped.
The eye on the pyramid, like Illuminati symbolism again.
That's the implication drawn, yeah. And this user said they, learned things during the trip.
Learned things?
Yeah, stuff they researched later, like hearing a voice say, "I am God," which they later found out is something said by Hindus. And a friend, who supposedly knew nothing about Hinduism, described the god Ganesha perfectly.
Ganesha, the elephant-headed god.
Right. And this experience apparently led the user to start worshiping idols, such as Vishnu, and studying Hindu texts like the Mahabharata, believing all paths led to God.
So the DMT trip led them towards Eastern religion?
Initially, yeah. But they also saw parallels to the Bible, like the fallen angels and Nephilim we mentioned.
Ah, okay, so connecting back again.
Exactly. And they saw what they interpreted as evidence of historic high-tech battles in India.
High-tech battles, like ancient alien style.
Kind of. Mentioning radiation and sand fused into glass, suggesting ancient nuclear explosions, and linking it to Greek myths about giants and gods meeting with humans.
So bringing myths, potential ancient tech, and DMT visions all together.
Right. And this particular user, they ultimately concluded that DMT wasn't connecting them to God or gods, but specifically to fallen angels.
Fallen angels.
Yeah. They felt the drug gave these demonic spirits full access, that the enemy can manipulate the mind of a DMT user any way he pleases.
That's a pretty dark conclusion from those experiences.
It is. And that leads into the discussion about Rick Strassman's work.
Strassman, DMT, the spirit molecule. The famous book based on his clinical research in the 90s.
That's the one. The source points out Strassman himself admits to a long relationship with Zen Buddhists and their supervised drug sessions in a monastery.
Okay. And what did Strassman's actual research subjects report?
Well, Strassman wrote that at least half of the volunteers who took DMT in his study reported contact
Contact with what?
with entities, beings, aliens, guides, and helpers. Lots of different terms.
And what were these entities like? Were they benevolent?
The descriptions are
Yeah.
vivid and often unsettling.
Unsettling how?
Well, quotes from participants mentioned seeing things like self-transforming machine elves.
Machine elves?
Yeah. Others saw strange creatures, dwarves, black.
Horrible.
Some saw weird orange people.
Orange people. Okay.
And the entity's behavior was described as prankish, sometimes cruel, even giggling.
Giggling entities. That sounds creepy.
It does. One person said the entities held up placards showing me these incredible, beautiful, complex, swirling geometric scenes.
Okay, that sounds less threatening.
Maybe. But another said an entity made it impossible for me to move, stating there was no issue who have control here.
Loss of control.
Yeah, that's unnerving.
Definitely. Another described an insect-like being hovering over them, feeling like it was sucking them out of my head and into outer space.
Insectoid beings. Reptilians are mentioned too, right?
Yeah, feeling possessed, encountering reptilian beings, seeing a sinister backdrop.
The source emphasizes these aren't all, pleasant, enlightened experiences.
Not at all. It highlights that many are not very pleasant. And interestingly, people also report seeing
What?
Illuminati-style imagery, New World Order imagery, and yes, little gray aliens. Again,
So even in Strassman's controlled scientific study, you get reports matching the symbolism and the alien types discussed earlier.
that's the connection being drawn. A surprising consistency suggesting these aren't just random hallucinations. Okay, so wrapping this all up, we've gone through symbols, history, media narratives, ancient texts, DNA claims, FBI documents, and detailed DMT trip reports. What's the final takeaway from this perspective? What does it all supposedly mean?
The ultimate conclusion presented by the source is that all these things, they're not separate.
They're connected.
Yeah, part of a single coordinated effort. It all circles back to, quote, the basics that these are the fallen ones.
The fallen angels, the demonic entities.
Exactly. And the overarching goal, according to this view, is getting us in communion with these things.
Communion, like communicating with them, worshiping them.
Connecting with them. Connecting with the fallen, connecting with the demons. That's the phrase used.
And to what end? What's the ultimate purpose of this connection?
The theory culminates in this idea that we're all being prepared for something big, a great delusion,
A great delusion.
a massive demonic delusion that will be presented to the world as alien contact.
So the big first contact moment wouldn't be aliens from Zeta Reticuli, but demons in disguise?
That's the final stark warning presented in this material. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That is quite a narrative. From Apple logos to a grand demonic deception posing as aliens. As you think about this whole intricate web they've laid out, ancient myths, modern science, DMT, what really stands out?
I mean, the sheer breadth of the connections is something, how it tries to pull threads from so many different areas of culture and history.
Yeah. And it definitely raises a big question, doesn't it? For all of us listening, how do you, as an individual, sort through something like this? How do you tell the difference between, real scientific research, cultural stories that just evolve, and then these very specific, elaborate interpretations?
Especially when they weave actual facts or scientific studies into a much larger, more speculative framework. It's tricky.
It really is. When faced with these huge, interconnected claims about reality itself, about consciousness, how do you navigate that?
That's definitely something to mull over. How do we critically engage with these ideas without just dismissing them, but also without, falling into a rabbit hole?
Exactly. Something to really think about after we sign off.